I'm in Andalo, which, if you look here, is the Dolomites. Pretty impressive location, and I've got this on test. It's the Mondraker Neat SL. It's the version RR. It's got an integrated electric motor, although it doesn't really look like it. This is an e-bike, but it's got basically a basic level of support, so 50 Newton meters, comes with a 360 watt-hour battery, also comes with a battery extender. Video is brought to you by Leatt. Check out their website, the link below, so you can check out their winter gear. This is the Leatt Trail Jacket 3, pretty amazing, super comfortable. It's also got a nice warming protection here on the front. That means you can wear a light clothing underneath and this jacket on top, and you don't get overcooked. Anyway, back to the video. If you look at the bike, it really doesn't look like an e-bike. I mean, you look at this design, and we take a look at the frame here. As you go down the lines of the frame, you can see that the motor is smaller than the chainring, and it's highly integrated into that frame. It comes with a SRAM T-type system, 12-speed shifting, wireless XX, wireless remote on the front here. It's also got a wireless seat post, which is pretty cool. And it's the RockShox reverb. We've got the level brakes from SRAM. They're closer to the frame here. It doesn't really do much apart from give you a smoother, nicer look. With the cables passing close to the frame, it probably gives you less risk of catching cables on trees or rocks or stuff. We've got the remote on the left for the motor control. That's also very small. The display is just, I love these top tube mounted displays. If you can see that they're pretty discreet, well integrated, and they have all the information necessary, and you can easily change any options with just 2 buttons. You can also use an app with this, and that's pretty cool. It's basically got the Ford geometry on it, which means a long top tube, short stem. This bike is designed for speed. The head angle's fairly open at around 64 degrees, with a 29er on the front and 29er on the rear, 160 mils of travel up front, 150 up the rear. A bike which is designed for speed and fun. And this place here where we're gonna go ride it now is all about speed and fun. The suspension on it is Fox. We've got a Kashima coated fork on the front, and we've also got a Float X Kashima shock on the rear. Together, these give you a lot of setting possibilities. This has got the Grip 2 damper, so we can control the high speed and low speed compression here on the top of the fork. We've also got a high speed and low speed rebound on the bottom. The same is true of the shock bottle on this fork, on this frame, even though it has a low profile frame, which allows you to fit onto the bike the battery, external battery, which goes in either in the bottle cage or fits on its own mounting here, which allows you to rotate the battery on and off. So the rear suspension is a multi-pivot design, and I find it quite nice to use. It follows sort of the DW link. You've got the rocker link here, and you've also got a link at the bottom there. And this gives you quite a reasonable anti-squat, so it doesn't squish down too much when you're pedaling. I find that this bike is actually very efficient to pedal, even though you don't have a huge amount of torque assistance. Pricing of this bike is in around €11,000. There are slightly cheaper versions available, but this thing is probably the one to get if you're into lightweight electric mountain bikes. The last thing to mention here now is the wheels. These come with Mavic wheels, which have a carbon rim, and the Mavic hubs. They are incredibly efficient. I find myself rolling along with absolutely very little rolling resistance. Maxxis Minion DHR2 tyres. They've got the double down casing as well, which is good, which means we have a nice protective tyre, so you can take this bike and get rowdy with it. So we're going to go and do that now. Okay, if you go back to a downhill bike from 2015, but a little bit faster and smoother, you pretty much have this bike. It's very lightweight feeling, very nimble, very manageable. On the trail, you can feel the directionality of it and how easy it is to change direction. So when I'm riding a heavier e-bike, it feels a lot like, to me, you can more planted and you're more one direction. Whereas this, you've got more options, you can change direction. So that lightweight system with the lightweight battery and motor gives you that ability. Also, it's very quiet. This bike is absolutely dead silent. No noise at all, no clatter, no bangs. Even when you give it a little pedal on a boost on a few jumps, the motor's dead silent. It's super impressive. The carbon wheels on it give it a very, very directional feel, especially on the front. Yeah, I mean, it's a hard bike to beat in this lightweight category for sure. The shifting is super precise. In the gear that I want it, when I want it, I just press that button. Now, some people talk about the X or the T-type system from SRAM being a bit slow to shift, and I can see that it is slower to shift. It does take more of a rotation on the rear cassette because the chain has a defined path, but the shifting is more precise and smoother, so you kind of don't mind. It doesn't really matter. It's absolutely fine. Suspension on this feels pretty good actually. I've got it set up fairly well. I do need to change the compression a little bit on the next descent because I do find it was a little bit harsh maybe. But you know, maybe I can also release a little bit of pressure in it. Brakes work well, precise. I've noticed with a lighter bike and in this case very strong, powerful brakes, you do feel more control. You have the ability to change direction more easily. You make a bit more of a micro brake. Your hands don't feel as tired because you're not braking as hard. So I think when you ride a bike like this, it does highlight the fact that a lot of e-bikes out there, when you're doing the same kind of riding, don't really have enough power available at the lever. The geometry of the frame feels really good. I love the top tube length. This is an L. It's absolutely spacious. This is like, basically for me, it's an aggressive bike. You can ride it fast. This bike is fantastic. I absolutely love the geometry. The standover height as well, it's super low. I like that, but there's still space for a bottle. This is, for me, an optimal geometry of most bikes that you'd find on the market at the moment. Now, there's only a few bikes I've ridden in the last few years that have this type of geometry, but it's probably quite particular. I don't think everybody would appreciate it, which kind of puts me in the direction of who's this bike for? Well, this bike is probably for somebody who's come from the world of normal mountain biking and normal enduro riding, and they want something with an electric motor, but they don't want the weight. They want a bike which feels like the 13 or 14 kilo enduro bike they've been riding for the past few years. And this bike goes absolutely close to that experience. You're not going to struggle with how this bike rides or feels if you are used to riding normal mountain bikes. This bike could definitely be an option for you.
So uphill, we found ourselves basically being able to go a little bit harder than we would if it was a non-e-bike. The motor gives enough support in the mid-power mode or the full-power mode to do about 1,000 meters of climbing. We would say that it's not designed for those who want a big thump and push on their back. Obviously, the compromise is that on the downhills, you've got a lightweight bike that you can change direction with whenever you want, however you want. If you're looking for a bike and you're coming from the enduro world or the trail riding world and you want to go electric, this could be that bike for you. Clued about this, if you look about the pricing and you look at the quality of the componentry and the bike and the overall ride feel, this is one of the top lightweight e-bikes out there. Definitely one to look at if you're looking for well-priced, high quality, off-the-shelf, lightweight e-bike. Remember though, it's going to get you to the top of the trail without burning your legs, but you're definitely going to have to put some effort in.
We are at an amazing spot. I'm here with Luca. We're in Dolomiti Paganella Bike Park, or bike area.
Bike area.
Bike area. Now Luca is in charge of showing me today everything. We're in the middle of this amazing new trail. You've just built a couple new trails. Tell me something about this area. How many trails you've got and what we're about to ride.
Okay, we have in total 22 trails.
Okay.
Mixing up purpose-built trails, so with machine, more flow trails, and also we have a lot of natural trails, where existing trails, where also we share trails with hikers, for example.
Yeah.
Here we are in just the newest trail we have. It's called Interstellar, powered by Enduro. It's a new concept because it's was built by our trail builders with machine, but it looks more like a natural trail. So it's got this, you can feel it now when we're gonna ride it. This natural feel because it's narrow, it's not so big. We use a lot of materials that we found in the area, so it's more respectful.
If I just reach down here, you find they've used these rocks, which are really good for drainage.
Yeah, they are. They are.
So you don't get massively muddy trails. They look perfect conditions, almost like a pump track.
It is. It's a natural pump track. The rocks where they use the rocks also to arms the berms. We're gonna see it later. So it's a lot of natural feeling, a lot of natural touch here.
Now this area is served by lifts or pedaling. You can do both.
You can do both, of course.
So you can use your e-bike or your non-e-bike. And that's pretty cool. Could you tell me roughly how long it takes to get from the bottom to the top on a lift?
From the bottom to the bottom is 1,000 meters. Here we are at more than 2,100 meters high. You have two lifts, a cable car and a chairlift. Will take you around 15 minutes from the bottom, but it's a long descent because now this year we have everything connected. So from the top, Cima Paganella, down to Andalo, or even we can go down to Fai, or even down to Molveno. So we are here just in the top.
A long descent means probably 45 minutes.
Yes, well, it depends how many times we're gonna stop, look at the feature, relax, and
also how good you are as a trail. I ride all the time. I can enjoy the trails. Here I've got the Mondraker Neat. I'm testing it today. Pretty cool bike, an enduro bike. But the level of these trails, who are they designed for? Just hardcore riders or everyone?
No, the bike area was designed for everybody. So it's a progression issue. Basically, you can start from Molveno, where we have the easiest flow trails, even for kids. Always we suggest to start with a guide, especially if you don't have the technique to go downhill. And then you can upgrade to blue or red flow trails, and even at the end you can go to natural trails. So that's the progression we suggest. But the bike area is for everybody. What we like is to build also an inclusive bike area for everybody. But it is important not to jump to more complicated trails or hard trails. Just take your time, choose the right trail for you and upgrade. We open in April. In Molveno, and then we start gradually opening also in May. Basically from the 20th of May, everything is open 100%, and then we go till the end of September with 100% of trails and lift operating, and then we start again the weekends, Andalo, and we go till the 1st of November in Molveno.
That's
so it's
incredible.
a long season. It's even longer than the winter season now.
Luca's going to go and take us, and we're going to go. You're my guide.
I am. I'm not really a guide, but I would like to guide you today.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
So I was just looking at this and I thought, oh, you know, I might do Apocalypse now. Then I realised it's the hardest trail here. Maybe not.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.